What's going on, everyone? I'm here with Armando Felix. Briefly read a little bit about what you wanted to talk about today. You were in business before. You're looking to get back into business. What's going on?
Okay, so back in 2017, I had a construction. Well, I established a construction general contractor business. That definitely didn't work out for me, and now 2021, I want to get back at it, but not strictly as a general contractor. I want to do more of a either a HVAC or kitchen remodel. That's what I mainly focus on, and the kitchen remodel is more like a hustle. I work for an HVAC company. I'm actually a production manager, and I've learned how to uh, how to manage. Kind of got a little bit of a glimpse of how to do little margins, profits, and that's and I'm more interested into getting back into it and starting my own company again.
Wow. So let's talk about, so that was 4 years ago where you had this construction company. And
Yes.
anytime I've heard situations like this, I don't want the same habits to come from what made you fail in 2017. And I say the word lightly, not as in like you're a failure, just hey, you're not in business anymore. Why, like what happened? Why in your words, why didn't it work out?
Uh, Poor management on myself. Bad, bad proposals. I let people kind of, I gave them a price. They kind of haggled me down, and I wanted to do the work. I was like, I wanted to get out of the company I was working in. So, I told them, I gave them a price, and they were like, can you do this? And for me, at that point, I was like, heck yeah, I'm excited. I want to do it. I want to do something new. And I actually agreed, and I ended up losing money. I kept going to other jobs. I had like three or four additional jobs. So I kept pulling from one job to complete the other. And at the end, I was in a hole, and
So in other
I
words, you're telling me that well, construction's it takes a while to get cash, right? So you can't
yes.
just get paid. So your cash flow issues of starting a job, then having to go do another job so you can generate some cash flow, and then going back to that job, and customers weren't happy about how long it was taking. Is that kind of what was happening over and over again?
Pretty much that's what was happening. And
Yeah.
another thing to bring up, I had a cousin of mine working for me, and he wasn't all there. And I honestly didn't have the money to hire someone else, and it just turned out bad.
Turned out bad. All right. So right now you're a project manager for an HVAC company. And the big
Yeah.
question for you right now is, do I want to go back into business as an HVAC contractor, or do I want to go back into business as a kitchen remodeling company? Um, so we have to understand that they're two, obviously, and you know this, two totally separate businesses, like night and day, right? In terms of sales cycle, in terms of service interaction, in terms of all the things that go on, day to day. Um, First of all, right off the bat, I would lean toward kitchen remodeling,
Okay.
because from a startup perspective, which that's what you're going to be doing, is kind of starting off fresh. It's going to be much easier for you to tap into the market and get going a lot quicker than it would be for you to just start an HVAC company, right? HVAC company, you've got to get in line with vendors and suppliers to be able to supply you with tools and materials. You probably have to go through training on each of the different vendors that you're going to be servicing for, correct? Don't they put you through certain training?
Well, that's the thing, Tanner, that I am actually licensed for HVAC and as a general contractor, and
Are you licensed underneath the company you're working for right now?
I have my own company. I am licensed. I'm in California. I'm licensed as a general contractor and a C20, which is the heating and air conditioning.
Very good. Okay, so it would be easy for you to start up because you already have the license and it's active, I assume, right?
It's active, and I actually just paid it because I had stopped paying it. I had a corporation. I'm actually in the process of reviving it here in California. I just I have a meeting the 1st of December. Uh, but that's I'm personally, I thought about kitchens, because it was something new. Because I'm already used to the HVAC. I just wanted to try something new. I'm always trying to do something new. And what it is I already know a bunch of vendors. I have the EPA licenses. I have everything that I need to properly start an HVAC company.
Okay. So let's talk about strategy here. But before we do that, what's your end goal, man? Like when you look at from this point forward in 5 years, what would be best case scenario for you, man? Like what would your life look like? What do you see in terms of your business, like thriving, or do you want to make a bunch of money? Do you want a business where you are kind of just checking in and you have systems in place? Like when you think about that, what does that look like for you?
For me, it looks like I wanna. I'm not. I wanted because obviously the money, but more is something that I love and something that I want to leave behind for my family. In case I'm not here, I want to thrive. I want to make something big. At the beginning, I was trying to, just work and be known as a general contractor. And now I want to build a company. I want to grow it. That's my goal.
I like that. I like that. And when you think about business starting up, what is an area that you are very uncertain about in terms of how to grow? Now, there's four areas in business that I would generalize saying: sales, marketing, administrative, and production. Out of those four areas, where do you feel that you are just like, I am going to struggle in that area, just maybe out of lack of experience or just lack of knowledge of how it works? Because it's a lot. What area do you feel like you're going to run into a roadblock with?
I think administrative. I personally think administrative because production, obviously, I can do it. But administrative, how to properly run an office. Because at this point, my plan is, like I said, to go out and get these jobs, bid them. Because I've heard your podcast, and honestly, I've kind of learned what from what you had to do. I know you do the painting business, but I've used your strategies to try to put my trade into it. Whenever you say business, my mind thinks HVAC. So that's what I look at, and that's what I want to do. Um,
Yeah.
but as,
If
yeah,
so I out of those four areas, okay, out of those four areas, you're telling me administrative is the one where you feel like you're going to run into the biggest roadblock. My thing is, when I look at these two businesses, HVAC is heavily administrative versus kitchen remodeling because of dispatching, because of timetables, because of scheduling. If you go out and you need to fix somebody's HVAC unit and that part isn't available for however long that may require for you to get that part, which is a real thing now because of what's all that's going on. Okay. You got to have the administrative structure to be able to, first of all, get that part ordered and then have something to let you know when that part's in, to be able to pick that part up and to have that part installed. Okay. That is that a real, is it, did I give a realistic scenario there?
you did,
Okay.
and
I'm just saying, let me just, I'm playing both sides because I want to help you come out with because you told me you're going both ways. My focus right now with this is like, okay, let's figure out which one is going to help you get to where you want to be the fastest. Okay, with the least amount of pressure, least amount of uh I would say turbulence to get there. With HVAC, you can't just like, in my personal opinion, you can't just go into it without inventory, without a building, without, I mean, you could, but I mean, to get to where you want to be with system strategy, processes, all these things, it's going to probably take a lot longer than it would with a kitchen remodeling business because you can compete with the best day one. Would you agree? If you have a kitchen remodeling company with HVAC, how long is it going to take you to compete with the best?
oh, it's gonna take a while.
A while. And
Yeah,
why is that, in your opinion? Why is that?
because they have a higher marketing strategies. They've been in the business for way longer than I have, and
And what is and in other words, there's trucks that are out there wrapped, ready to go. They have Google SEO all the way at the top. So when somebody needs a repair service, everyone just jumps on Google mostly, boom, Google. So they're there. So you're competing with that. For your phone to ring, you've got to go through a lot of like, it's almost like you got to go through the wilderness,
Yes.
to get someone to organically ring your phone, which means out of survival, you're going to have to spend a lot on marketing to get yourself all the way at the top of Google. In the beginning, you may not want to make that investment for just $80 to $100 service calls when it's going to cost you X amount of money to get all the way at the top of Google just for those $80 to $100 service calls. Obviously, you have the opportunity to sell a full HVAC unit, or not HVAC unit, AC unit. You get what I'm saying, right?
I understand.
But we can't guarantee those every time, right? It's usually out of necessity. People don't, people know they need a new AC unit because the service tech told them they needed a new AC unit, right? Yes. So in other words, they don't just say, "Oh, we need a new AC unit. Let me call somebody to install it." So it's just you're going to be fighting to get to the top, dude, early on, and that's going to cause a lot of stress out of just knowing business. Which, if that happens, you are going to be doing most of the work, which means you're not going to be able to hire day one, right? You're not going to feel confident enough to hire day one. And that is a position I think you were in early on, last 2017, where you were doing the work and you didn't have enough confidence to hire.
Exactly.
So let me tell you what kitchen remodeling is going to look like. Would you like me to do that?
Absolutely.
All right. Kitchen remodeling, day one. Okay. First of all, there's a lot less competition on Google for this in comparison to HVAC. Okay. Because HVAC is all about Google. They know that when people need this service, boom, they're going to Google. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. That's number one. Okay. Number two is you're not limited to Google because you can run ads on Facebook with your remodeling company, before and after pictures. So you're going to generate leads on a longer sales cycle. Okay. So you have flexibility in terms of where those leads come from. You can use Angie right off the bat, which is Home Advisor's new name. Okay. You can use Angie off the bat. So in other words, you're not going to have as much problems generating leads day one. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Because you have different avenues that you can go. So when we lock in marketing, we know that, okay, I can put this much money in marketing and I can get this result. Now you have the option here. With a remodeling company, you know that they can operate under your general contractor's license, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So in other words, there's really no barrier to entry for you. And with that being said, that allows you to bring in subs who may not be licensed, but they're operating under your license, right? There is how big is the labor pool for this in your state? Because there's many of those contractors that are not licensed that are trying to do their own work, right? Without a license. And you can say, hey, you know what? You can come under my license and do it. So you have a lot of leverage there. Am I correct?
No, that's true. You're correct.
So right off the bat, bro, you come into the kitchen remodeling space needed. When you go into the HVAC space, you're blending in.
Okay.
That's what I'm seeing here. Tell me what you think about what I just said.
No. Yeah, and you're absolutely right. I mean, there's a lot of people that aren't licensed here, and I actually have that privilege to be licensed and go out and bid these jobs at a reasonable price
with the leverage of I'm licensed. Okay.
Exactly.
But here's the thing. You can't get away with not being licensed in HVAC. You can't get away with that. That doesn't fly in that world, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Right. So you would go in there and say, "Oh, I'm licensed with HVAC." They'd be like, "Okay, what are you trying to tell me? That's great. You want a prize? You go into the kitchen remodeling business. We're licensed. Oh, good. Thank God. you know what I'm saying? So you already go into the game winning.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Do you see how you have a choice to make here? And the choice is, do you want to start at the top or do you want to fight your way to the top? And you need all of the help you can get when you start this business.
Yeah.
Or else you're just going to be, I hope to God that doesn't happen. You're going to be falling into 2017 again, where, it's just like you can't get that ball rolling, man. And that's what you need. You need that leverage. So you can go. I just wanted to give you that. I think that might help.
And you're absolutely right, because honestly, that's what I'm trying to get knowledge from everywhere that I can, because I do have a family, and that family needs food on the table. They need
Yeah.
a roof, and definitely I don't want to fail like I did in 2017. And now at this point, I'm not more of a I'm trying to make money. I work for a company right now, and I'm like I said, I'm production manager, and I mean my salary rate is decent, but me, I would get more of a fulfillment if I create my company and bring it up to, like I
Love it.
said, to leave
Pass it
something
on to
for
your family. You have your free time. You're not, dude. There's certain people that can that want this and know they can do it. You've done it. You've seen it. You felt it. You had to make a decision for your family to go work for somebody. Nothing wrong with that. And I don't think you failed. You learned. And there's two
yeah,
different. You learned. I mean, you're not going to make the same mistake, and it's good because we can reference that instead of you saying, "Hey, I'm a project manager at this HVAC company. I'm thinking about starting my business, and I'd have to start with you on the basics." Instead of me going through the basics, I'm looking at what went wrong, what didn't you know, and I'm telling you that maybe a few minor tweaks and you would have been well on your way. But
yeah.
I think the answer here is kitchen remodeling. I
Okay.
1000% because of just the market, the fact that you come in there with already being a professional because you're already licensed.
Yeah, yeah,
Going into HVAC, I mean, you're going to be fighting day one for attention, and you're going to be looking at low hanging fruit, service calls, 80
yeah,
to $100, couple hundred. I mean, kitchen remodeling can be 10 to 15 grand, one job.
yeah. I
I mean,
and me, I kind of had the idea of HVAC more because it's more of a I can, and this is you're honestly changing a little bit of my mentality, because honestly my wife's probably gonna love you. But she's, because I had talked to her, and I was very excited, be like, yeah, because I'm do kitchens. And then I started thinking, I was like, well, I am in the HVAC industry as of right now, but I love doing kitchens. So and I work with general contractors as a sub as well. So actually, I'm able to get, kitchens and HVAC through them. And for me, I did think it was going to be, I was thinking of it being a little bit harder to get more of a HVAC because of the service calls,
you got to
you know,
get through the service calls to get to the money.
exactly.
And
And
you might have to do 10 or 15 service calls to get to a full AC.
yeah. And on top of that, to make enough money to pay overhead, to pay, I would have to hire. And if I work myself, I won't, like, I mean, I've heard you, if I work myself, I won't be able to go out there and look for these leads, look for these jobs. So it will be stressful for me. And if I'm able to actually get a job, I can, be on the job the first day, and have the second day, or the third day, to try to find another lead to continue. Once we're
Absolutely.
done, we continue and jump on the other job.
Right, right. I mean, and I think this. It's just the HVAC is where you're in right now, so you're like, this is my world. I'm gonna don't forget don't forget this other world. This kitchen remodeling world's a good world to be in.
Yeah.
It's great, and it's highly sought after. It can be marketed on Facebook. Those before and afters. You have a lot of marketing potential. And again, remember what I said about the licensing. You've probably got 50% of anyone that does, and this could be a light number. 50% of anyone that's doing remodeling in California right now is probably doing it unlicensed. With you coming in, you have the leverage of license. Okay, which means not only do you get pull when it comes to the customer saying yes, you also get some leverage in hiring subs that no longer want to do things without a license. Okay. And they want to operate under your license. Okay. So we let's just go in that direction real quick, because I want to talk to you about part two of this. And part two of this is working with your brain, not your hands. Right. Your brain is the most valuable asset of your company right now. Okay. Although, yes, you do know how to do the work. Okay. Naturally, you're going to want to do the work. There's nothing wrong with being on the job and helping with the job. But I think that what you need to do day one, when you decide to start this company, is hire a helper. Okay. I don't think subcontractors is the answer right now. I don't think that that's the direction you should go in. And the reason why I say that is because subcontractors, number one, the really good ones, are probably already busy. Number two, they're not going to love your customers as much as you do because they're not really their customers, are they?
Exactly. They're not.
Okay. So that's number two. Number three, having employees gives you even more leverage with the customer when you're making a sale because many other companies have a team of what subcontractors. Oh, we're bringing the subs in. No, no, no. All our team is a team of employees. And I'm not saying you have to do this when you scale your business. My thing is create a team first, just one
Okay.
team that is your proprietary team that you can schedule. That the labor is going to be cheaper over the cost of the job because you're not giving up all your profit to another company, which is a subcontractor. All they are
Yeah.
is another company. So when you sell jobs, you've got to sell jobs for two companies when you operate with subcontractors. When you don't, you're only selling jobs for one company, which means you can sell your jobs for less and you can still make the margin, right?
Okay. Yep.
So I think day one, you need to know who you're looking for. I think it's okay for you to be working on the job initially because remodeling isn't like the easiest thing. I'm sure you're good with cutting angles. You probably know all this stuff, right? You're really good with wood.
Actually, I was a finished carpenter before back
Perfect.
in, long story short, I did finish carpentry up to 2008 when the economy crashed, and then 2010 I started in the HVAC industry. So that's why I'm good with doing woodwork and HVAC.
Yeah,
So
but that's what I'm saying. Your brain is the most important thing, knowing that hey, you might go in and do the hard cuts or whatever needs to be done, but you're going to find somebody that complements your skill set and can also manage a job. And you just need one person, right? And when you put out this ad, it's an employee. It's an hourly pay, but they're going to be working alongside you. And what you're hoping to find is somebody that you can trust to run a little crew of two. Okay. In remodeling, it's just two. You need two guys that can go in and remodel a kitchen together. But
yeah,
but again, like wouldn't it be better to have two crews of two employees
of
than
course.
than bringing in subcontractors?
Yeah, no, 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 that's for sure. I
And
would 100%
and they're
agree.
wearing your logo and your brand. Wouldn't that feel good to know that you got one kitchen being remodeled there? You got another. Maybe you get into bathroom remodels. Maybe you start, getting into tile and backsplashes and all these things. Maybe that's your gig. You become a little remodeling company, but you have four employees. Both are running two jobs. You got two jobs, and you're out there selling for the next job. And you know the effort that you put in to finding these guys isn't far off from the effort you're going to have to put in to find solid subcontractors. All subcontractors are people. They're just committed to someone else.
Okay. Yeah.
Does that make
No, that
sense?
yeah, they look for themselves. They're not looking out for me. They're once they're done with that job, they're out, you know?
Well, they're out or they're going to work for another general contractor and whoever pays more. And, you can't tell them what to do. If they don't show up in the morning, they say, oh, I had to take care of something. Oh, well, boo hoo. You got to tell your customer, oh, he had to take care of something. What are you going to do? As an employee, it's like, why didn't you show up? Okay, well, you have the option to fire that person, you know,
Yeah.
um, but it's so important how you plan this, dude. You know, what do you think about some of the advice I'm giving?
No, I think it's great advice, man. I like I said, I was leaning toward HVAC, but now you're actually making a little bit more clear of, my best shot is to go to kitchen
What
remodeling.
do you want to name the company if you do kitchen remodeling?
I I was I was actually thinking of either Afex Home Services, but I haven't actually thought about it. If not, just keep what I have, which is A Felix Construction Inc. Um, and just I honestly didn't think about
Can I give you some advice on that?
yeah,
Yeah. I think that it would be if we identify the kitchen remodeling, a Felix kitchen remodeling.
okay,
That's it.
yeah,
It's going to help you. It's going to help the general public know exactly what you do. Or a Felix home remodeling. If you want to expand to area of the house, if you're going to stick with the kitchen remodeling, is what you should name the company
okay,
or whatever that first word is. AFX. I like AFX.
okay.
Is that what you said?
No,
AFX.
no, I said Afex, Afex, because it's
Oh, get rid of the
is
E.
Okay.
AFX is cool, man. I like
Yeah.
that. I don't know. It's just me. Yeah, I would like AFX. I can see that being a cool logo.
Okay. Yeah. 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 That's. I'm just imagining the logo, and yeah. I mean, yeah. I guess I'm gonna do at this point now. I have to do a DBA into AFX. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just spend the time to do it, but yeah, man, I think I'd love to chat with you again. I think that's the first start, man. Let me know what you do, from here. When are you going to quit your job?
I actually just so I also have my license here with this company, and I talked to my boss already, and I told him, you know what, I have 6 months. This is about a month ago. Uh, at the most, I have 6 months by the time you leave. Whichever production manager is here, they would have to, go in and test for their license for the with the CSLB, to get licensed as a general contractor and as a C20. But me, I don't see myself here more than 2, 3 months, and right after the holidays, and that's just me looking at it. But once again, I also think about people want to remodel their kitchens for the holidays. I don't know. I
It's
might
too
be
soon.
wrong.
I mean, don't try to cram anything in now. Nobody wants, I mean, yeah, I mean, people that wanted to remodel their kitchens for Thanksgiving did it 2 months ago. And people
Yeah.
that are wanting to remodel their kitchens for Christmas are planning on doing it right after Thanksgiving, which is it's too short a time. Don't worry about that. I think first of the year is a good thing. Get your foundation right. Get the
Okay.
foundation right. Get the logo, get the website. I can help you with that.
Oh,
Get the, yeah, we do both.
nice.
Get the logo, get the website. You want to get the systems in place, get everything ready. Read up on marketing, figure out what your marketing strategy is going to be, figure out how you're going to sell these jobs, figure out what services you're going to offer, figure out what vendors you're going to use, figure out all this stuff. Figure out what your ideal client is, like what it's going to look like when you hire one person, what that person's role is going to be working alongside you, what the goal is for that person to be able to run a job without you, and then what you're going to try to hire underneath him. Like, think of the skills that person's going to need to know in order to complete a kitchen remodeling job. Think about all these things. And by the time you're ready, it's all going to look, if your legacy is what's most important to you, what you give back to your family, what that freedom looks like, the time that you spend doing this and putting this plan together is going to dictate whether or not that comes to fruition.
Okay.
I mean, like if I was saying all that and you're picturing in your head, like, am I really going to do this? Not saying you, just thinking out loud. Am I
Yeah.
really going to put in the time to craft this thing together? If there's any doubt of whether or not you're going to do that, just understand that the exchange is whether or not your goal of freedom and a legacy comes to life. And that's all that I'm going to say about it, because that's what it requires, is a plan. If you do not have a plan, if you do not write it down, if you do not come up with something, it doesn't have to be the perfect plan, it just has to be a plan, then you're leaving everything up to chance. That's it. So you don't have to do it. You could start day one, January 1st, but then without a strategy, I mean, you could be successful, but it might take a long time.
Yeah.
It's better to go in with a strong plan in this 2 month period of time. And then you should look at your personal finances. Worst case scenario, are we good? That's a question we should ask. Are we good? Worst case scenario. What if I don't get a job for 2 months? Am I okay? Are we going to stress out? I mean, that's
Yep.
something that a family man should ask, something I've asked myself, So
Yep.
these are questions that we should ask for sure.
And I actually had a question that I wrote down. Um, as far as home advisor, is that like a good mood like now to for kitchen remodeling, and how actually does that
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. So first of all, this is my thing, when it comes to leads, it's wherever your customers are is where we want to be. Again,
work? Okay.
it doesn't matter if it's home advisor. It doesn't matter if a new lead generation platform comes up called Tanner. If that's where the customers feel comfortable going, that's where we want to be. That's it.
Okay.
So get rid of, if there's any negative connotation surrounding that word in your mind, like it is for many people, get rid of it, because it's just a matter of where are the customers. If they're comfortable putting in their precious information of wanting to get a quote into that website, that's where we want to be. And in the
Okay.
beginning, that's what you should focus on. Your rule of thumb is, and this should be your mantra, I don't care how much money I make in the first 6 months of this business. That should be your mantra. I
Okay.
don't, and it's going to be hard because that's your livelihood. So you've got to really look at your finances and understand that, like, dude, don't worry about how much you spend on marketing. It's all about repetition, practice, a training ground for your employees, a training ground for your processes, a training ground for your sales to learn sales, a training ground to learn how marketing works. How does Home Advisor work? Somebody goes online, they type in kitchen remodeler in Google. This is how most of it works. Okay. Home
Okay.
Advisor spends a ton of money on making sure that they're at the top of Google, which, again, hard for you to compete with their budget as
Okay.
it is for me. I don't even use ads on Google. Okay. We're pretty organic at this point with our reviews. That's gotten us to the point where we don't have to advertise on Google. But right
Okay.
now, you're so early on, you can't really compete with that. So Home Advisor is at the top. It says local kitchen remodeling companies in this area, vetted and approved. So the average customer is like, okay, I can make my own decision and I could try to find somebody to come do this. Or Home Advisor's telling me that they're going to send me vetted and screened kitchen remodeling contractors. Now, the educated buyer, just like how nowadays people are comfortable with Uber rather than going down the list of Google trying to find their own freaking taxi company, all they got to do is, oh, Uber has vetted and screened drivers for you. Which one's easier, right? So
Yep.
when it comes to lead generation, this is what's happening, and you're seeing this with Home Advisor. They're going to go through the process of answering questions and being in your area. You're on the other end of that, along with a couple other contractors, okay? Because you've affiliated with Home Advisor. Home Advisor takes the information, and what they do is they decide who they're going to give it to through some algorithm, and essentially they send it to you, and you get charged right off the bat. You paid for it. That's it. 75
Okay.
bucks. Okay. Right there. Okay. Whether you sell it or not, you still got to pay Home Advisor. That's their job, is to send you leads. That's it. They don't care if you sell it. They want you to sell it, but they don't care. That's not their job. Your job is to take that information and do something with it. Now, whether that is looking at it and doing nothing or actually selling the job determines whether or not, you're going to feel good about buying another lead from Home Advisor. So what I created is a software called Dripjobs. You've probably heard me mention it, but
Oh yeah.
one of the features of that software is that we connect it to your Home Advisor account, which allows Dripjobs to follow up with the lead for you automatically. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah, no, and I was actually going to ask you about your the drip jobs as well, and see if it actually a good fit for kitchen remodeling. But you're
Yeah,
actually
absolutely. I mean, it's what we call a long sales cycle. So in other words, if you got a Home Advisor lead and you had a Dripjobs account, it would follow up with that lead automatically for you. That lead would get an email and a text message with a link to actually schedule an official estimate with you. And then from there, you would build out the proposal in Dripjobs, send the proposal. It would follow up with the customer if they don't buy. And then once
okay.
they accept the proposal, it moves them as a job. It turns them into a job, which can be scheduled, and then you can send a work order to your team. It's the full circle of business. That's what Dripjobs is. But when it comes to Home Advisor and Angie, you've got to look at it like this. Okay, it's just a person that wants the job done. The quicker you contact them, the easier it's going to be for you to get in front of them to show them your services. Okay, from there, whether you sell it or not, again, you gotta look at this marketing. Your job is, and then obviously that would mean less money that you have to spend on marketing.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I'm
But off
definitely
the bat, that's the quickest way you're going to get qualified leads off the bat.
okay.
100%. That's it.
Okay.
Because there's people right now in your area, right where you sit, that are wanting kitchen remodeling estimates. 100%.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's what you need to understand.
Okay.
I would even, to be honest with you, I would try this if I were you. I would get this DBA up as soon as possible. I'd get with Home Advisor, get it set up,
Okay.
and you can shut off the leads. I would actually set this up. I would go and actually do some estimates. I would get maybe 3 or 4 leads, see what it looks like.
Okay.
Jobs that you could do on the side. Jobs, maybe if it's small, maybe it's like moving a cabinet. Maybe it's even installing new cabinets you could do on the weekend, just to try it out.
Okay. Nice.
You think that's something you would be able to do?
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, I'm actually I didn't think about that, but I'm gonna go ahead and set everything up. I actually have a phone call. I want to say today because I kind of did try to set up a home advisor, but they gave me a call. When was it? Yesterday. But I was a little bit busy. I told them to give me a call today. That's why before I wanted to get a little bit of a knowledge of how home advisor works,
Bro,
especially
you
with
just
you.
need, bro. I'm just telling you, you need the right system. Like you need Dripjobs. I mean, I don't ever come on here and hard sell it, but if you're gonna do this with your situation specifically, with you working a real job and maybe interacting with a customer, while
Yeah,
you're interacting with your HVAC customer and your other business gets a lead,
yeah,
Dripjobs is doing the work for you. Otherwise, you're gonna have to wait the hour that your interaction takes. Try to call that customer. If that customer doesn't answer, you have to try to call again. And if you don't have anything following up with that customer, you might miss out on that money that you spent in that opportunity. So that's what I'm saying is that you specifically, if you're going to do home advisor, you definitely need Dripjobs, 100%.
okay, perfect. I'm gonna go
So
ahead and set all that up, and I can get with you a little bit later on as
yeah,
far as
yeah, absolutely. You got my
yeah,
number. Just text me. I mean, if you need something. But was this helpful, man? I want to make sure because sometimes I do these and I go off on hard tangents, and I really just want to
no,
make sure that I was honest and thorough, and you feel as though I came at you in a good way with helping you pick which one you move forward with.
you actually opened up my eyes a little bit better, and I'm seeing a better vision now, and yeah, for sure, I'm definitely gonna go towards kitchens, and like you said, I don't need the big space. I mean, I can work off my house, and I don't need to set up a big overhead. I don't need a big overhead to try to succeed in the HVAC industry.
Yeah.
Now, whether I do kitchen remodeling, it's the overhead's much smaller. That's
Well,
what I personally think. Yeah.
absolutely. And just so you know, Dripjobs is like an office admin, dude. So you have a software that can do 90% of what you would hire an office administrator to do.
Yeah.
Besides answer, it doesn't answer the phone. We're working on it though.
Oh, okay. Well, I actually told my wife, and for her to help me out because I want her
Yeah.
to be involved with
Oh,
me.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
So
I love that. Does she work right now? Does she have a job?
she's at home. The girls go to school, and we
Perfect.
have a 1.5-year-old baby. But he does take his naps, and I told her if we're gonna do this, I would like for
Dude,
you
oh
to
my
be
gosh,
with me.
bro. This is the perfect scenario, man. She's at home, she can answer the phone, she can utilize. I mean, I help couples all the time. I train the wife or whoever's staying at home on the software so she knows how to use it. We do an onboarding and it's awesome, man, because you can start now. Even though you have this job, you can start right now. You can get everything up. You already have the license. Get on there, get some leads, run the leads when you have after work. She's setting the appointments up. I mean, dude, you could totally hit it now. Don't wait. Because if you
Okay.
wait, this excitement that you're feeling, this vision, this idea, this enthusiasm, all it's gonna
Yeah.
do is wane. It's gonna decline. And you need momentum when you start a business. You need excitement, you need enthusiasm, you need a vision. If you wait till January 1 to quit your job, you're gonna
Yeah.
feel scared.
Yeah.
You don't want to go into a business scared.
Okay.
Because guess what? What did you just do? You just cut off your
For
your
excitement.
lifeline.
Yeah.
And then now your customers can feel the urgency of like, hey, hire me, please. Like I need this job.
And I think that's what happens. That's when you start, losing money. In other words, because you start bidding your prices much lower because you want that job, you need that job at this point. Versus, hey, if I don't get it,
They're
that's
gonna
fine. There's
feel that. They're gonna feel that, you know what? If we don't get it, it's not that you don't care, it's just that you're gonna be allowed to be more honest, transparent, patient. You're gonna have all these great feelings that are gonna be they're going to be transferred to the customer because you're not in that fight or flight mode and you have leverage right now where you could do this on the side. I don't offer this advice to everyone, but your specific situation, you have your wife helping on the office side with answering the phone. I mean, it's just there. I mean, it's there and it's up to you, business owners and leaders. This is one thing and we'll cap it after this, but I just want to let you know, decision makers, man,
okay.
there's employees out there that rely on other people to make decisions on their behalf. And that is not a bad thing. But when you decide to sign up to be a business owner and an entrepreneur, you got to make the tough decision. You actually have to have more faith. That's the word, faith, than everyone else around you. Before being a business owner, it's asking everyone their opinion, and sometimes it's good, like you're doing now, asking me my opinion. But I'm talking about when it comes to making the decision, it's scary. The unknowns are there. As a business owner, you've got to have the most faith out of everyone around you to say, you know what, we're going to do this. I can give you energy and motivation. I can give you the motive. That's what motivation is. I'm giving you some motivation here. I'm giving you the motive of why. But until you actually commit that as a direction that you're going to take, bro, you got to take it from here. So my suggestion is don't wait until January 1 to quit your job and then get this ball rolling. Get it rolling now. So when you're quitting with power, dude. You're like,
Cool. All right. That's for sure, man.
That's it, bro. All right. Thank you, brother. Man. And connect soon.
All right. Yeah. Can you send me some information via text?
Yeah, I will. I'll send you some links and some cool stuff and things I know they're going to help you out.
Awesome, man. I appreciate
your
Armando,
time. Let's talk soon, bro.
All right. Talk to you.
See you, man.